Shalom Aleichem, Mishpachim. All right, we have a continuation of the Sefer, the Breslov Sefer, Crossing the Narrow Bridge. This is a Rebbe Nachman Sefer. Breslov Chassidus. And we're in chapter 3, the good points. All right, and as I explained before, each title of the chapter, whatever the content within the chapter, in this is the good points. So the content in this whole chapter of the good points will help us to learn, will teach about probably good points in every aspect of our relationship with Hashem. Good points that we should focus on, and that we should derive from certain things. So, yeah, and each title of each chapter, whatever's content is within that chapter, it'll surround you with spiritual teachings on how to connect the title of the chapter to your relationship with Hashem and your spiritual life. So yeah. All right, chapter 3, the good points. Judge everybody favorably. This promotes peace. One who judges others favorably is himself judged favorably. God's way is to focus on the good, even if there are things which are not so good. He only looks for the good. How much more do we have to avoid focusing on the faults of our friends? We are obligated to seek only the good, always. A zamra, which is known as one of the most influential Torahs of Rebbe Nachman. I believe it's in his Likutei Moharan. A zamra. Rebbe Nachman teaches, no, you must judge all people favorably, even in the case of a complete sinner. You must search until you find some good in him, some small aspect in which he is not a sinner. By doing this, you actually elevate him to the side of merit. You can then bring him to return to God. This can be understood from the verse. In but a little bit, the sinner is not. Search carefully his place, and he is not there. If you find but a little bit of good, then the sinner is not. He is no longer guilty. Search his place, and he is not there, but is now to be found on the side of merit. So begins Rebbe Nachman's lesson, a zamra, conceivably the most important lesson in all Likutei Moharan. It is the only one which carries the Rebbe's exhortation. Go with this lesson constantly. Keep it in mind and practice it always. The publication, a zamra, contains the entire lesson and Reb Nassan's commentary and translation, explaining these concepts at length. Why is the message of this lesson so special? The faculty of judgment is one of man's most powerful tools. If we really knew just how potent, we would certainly be more careful about how we used it. Elsewhere, the Rebbe teaches that judging others can destroy the world. If a person finds fault with another, this judgment can condemn him. Think about it. Your evaluation, your opinion and judgment of others has the power to either elevate or degrade. The problem is that criticism comes easy, too easy. We can always find fault in what others do or fail to do. It's not difficult to ascribe ulterior motives even for the worthiest of deeds. This is especially true when we hear slander. Then everyone is quick to jump on the bandwagon, condemning the offender for his wrongdoing. We have to realize that every word spoken about another person is, in some way, a form of judgment. If in our judgment we find the good points and focus on the positive, we can bring the world, the entire world, to the side of merit and worthiness. However, the reverse is also true in judging others. If we find fault and focus on the negative, we can bring the world, the entire world, to the side of demerit and unworthiness. This is why we must always try to look for the good in others, even in the worst person we know. Such emphasis on his positive traits affects him, because, as Rebbe Nachman said, our favorable judgment actually elevates him to the side of merit. After Reb Nosson published his Likutei Tefillot, the collected prayers, his followers suggested that he should be known as the Master of Prayer, after the main character of the 12th story of Rebbe Nachman's stories, entitled The Master of Prayer. Reb Nosson replied, "The Master of Prayer is Rebbe Nachman. If I am to be considered as one of the king's men, I am the bard, the singer of praises. This is because I can even find merit in a person who transgressed the entire Torah 800 times." Reb Nosson's Likutei Tefillah is wonderful. It is so uplifting. When you listen to someone else's prayers, it's so inspiring and uplifting. It really is. Even one's enemies. Do not judge your friend until you reach his level. Judging others favorably applies not only to sinners, but even to our enemies who would harm us. In most cases, enmity between two people stems from petty jealousy. Either I am jealous of my friend because he has more or has accomplished more than I have, or else he is envious of what I have or of what I have achieved. We are not equals in the area where the jealousy exists. If we were, there would be no reason for envy. Either I have to raise myself to his position, or if he is on a lower level than I am, I have to elevate him and make him my equal. How? Easily. I judge him favorably. Then, when there are no longer differences between us, there will be no room for jealousies and nothing to fight about. At first glance, this concept might appear a bit difficult to accept. It cannot be denied that jealousy is a very destructive emotion which can have far-reaching effects. Envy is the mother of strife. Conversely, judging a person favorably can bring about harmony. By always looking for the good points in others, by judging them to be righteous and focusing on their virtues, we can eliminate the cycle of enmity and strife. If instead of stubbornly clinging to our own comfortable positions and being possessively protective of our things and our achievements, we would give the other guy the benefit of the doubt, we could fashion a much better and more peaceful life for ourselves and our families. And I'll stop there. Perfect place to stop. Wow, so profound, so profound. It's such a common thing that we all know, whether we're religious or not. We've heard it. We're surrounded by this talk of positivity. But how does one obtain it? How does one obtain to truly focus on what is good and what is positive, instead of staying in a downcasted state of being? How does one obtain this positive outlook? And I believe one way is encouragement through readings like this. Readings, books, sefer, holy sefarim, such as this one, and such as the readings that I just finished reading. It's encouragement. It's a boost to walk in these ways, in these matters. Two, as was mentioned in here, prayer. Because we can't do things on our own. We didn't create ourselves. Therefore, we have no power. We have no power to sustain our own selves, sustain our own lives. This power is only in the hands of Hashem to sustain us and to keep us in the constant cycle of creation, day in and day out. It's only in the hands of God. But we have a role. We have a role to be children, sons and daughters of Hashem, in relationship with Him. And in that way, we can play a role in our connection, in our positive connection to Hashem and His goodness and the goodness that He fills the earth with. And I think that also another way to obtain a positive outlook is to think positive. And this is a really powerful way to stay positive, is to think positive, is to speak positive, is to perceive in a positive manner, in a positive perspective. And it's just really what we do, and if we do. So you just have to do it. Fight those negative urges, and but start your day. That's how it works. Another way, which is all of these ways are necessary, and we should not lack them. Otherwise, if you lack these ways, there's going to be negativity. So another way is to wake up in the morning with a positive frame of mind, with good words. Good words. Right when you wake up, speak blessings. Speak wonderful, wonderful good words. Words of beauty, words of love. Speak these words. Pray to Hashem. Thank God for Him giving you another day to fulfill His mitzvot and to receive blessings and to also be the giver of blessings to others, to Hashem. And if we go by these values, if we go by these positive values and live by them, you'll start, guaranteed, you'll see a more positive outlook. You'll see it more. You'll perceive things more positively. You'll be happier, a happier person. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Laila Tov.